I'm Morgan. My coworker is Penny, and we're happy to be with you tonight. I will first say as well, the Warren County Conservation District, there is a conservation district in every county in Kentucky. Every single one has one. And here in Warren County, we offer several different things. We offer local cost share programs for farmers, row crop farmers, livestock farmers, etc. And if you know a farmer or you're a farming family, hopefully some of these will benefit you from cover crop and heavy use area cost share programs. We have fallen animal mortality removal. That's a free program that we provide for Warren County residents. We provide the state cost share programs we administer. We have equipment rentals and technical assistance. Other programs that would more benefit you if you aren't farming related, we have scholarships for high school and college students. So if you have a student that's a senior this year in Warren County going into college, please have them apply for a scholarship. We focus on environmental studies, ag studies, or related fields. We also have one scholarship for a college student attending Western. So if you have a college student or you know somebody, please let them know that our scholarship is out there. We also have classroom mini grants. So if you have any teacher friends in elementary, middle, or high schools, this classroom mini grant helps them provide environmental education into their classrooms. The list is endless for that program, and you can find all of this information on our website. But if you know of anybody, please pass that along. We try to get the word out as best as we can. We also have a community garden out at the housing authority that we provide monetary funding for. It's really great. The residents there can grow foods that they are used to growing at home, and it just provides a little space for them to have things that they might not otherwise have. Before COVID, we used to have several workshops. I see some familiar names in this group too, so that's nice. We used to have rain barrel workshops and composting bin workshops, and we've kind of morphed that into the program we're going to go into more detail about this evening. And we also have Envirothon. That is a group of high school students. Penny takes care of all of that. She took a team to nationals a few years ago. So if you have any high school students that's interested in more or less an academic team for environmental studies, let us know. We'd be glad to start something at their school. Some other programs as well that would be more geared towards you, we offer free soil test vouchers. They're easy to do. All you have to do is reach out to me or Penny. Let us know how many you need. And we make it really easy for you. You just pull your soil samples, you take it to the Warren County Extension Office, and that's it. Then it's free for you. Otherwise, you have to pay $7 and something like that used to be. So that's a free service for you. In the spring, we have a free tree giveaway. Now they are seedlings. Some of them are rather large for seedlings, but watch out for that in early spring. I believe we've set a March date this year, but you can find that on our Facebook as well. We usually have about 4 or 5 varieties that you have access to, and that'll be out at Fillmore Park. Now, for the main event tonight, we're going to talk about our backyard conservation program. This is a new program relatively with our district, and those workshops I talked to you about earlier, we've kind of put all of that into this program, and it also gives more of an opportunity for different projects. So the backyard conservation program really is trying to encourage homeowners in urban areas, rural areas to have conservation practices and participate in those better management practices that help conserve, from composting to rain barrels, anything really that you think of, this program is there for it. Along with what you can do, this list here is not the end of the list. We have had people do We've had people do insect hotels, raised garden beds. We've recently had someone purchase some bee equipment to take care of their hives. The left picture on here is an insect hotel someone implemented. The middle one is a rain barrel, and the last one, those are raised garden beds. I have a couple rain barrels at home, and we use it to irrigate our garden. We've got some irrigation lines set up to go back there, and we catch the rain for it. It's really a nice idea. We also have some composting bins too. And the good thing with this program is we do require that you follow specific technical guidance for this, but it gives you the freedom to choose what products you want to purchase. If you want to purchase a prefabricated rain barrel, you can do that. If you want to construct one from a barrel and upcycle that into a rain barrel, you can do that too. Penny, I don't know if you want to fill in anything there that I missed, but we have everything from bat houses, purple martin houses, pollinator habitats, pollinator oasis. You can do pollinator in your backyards. There's just all kinds of stuff that you can do. Bee sanctuaries, whatever you think would be of interest to you. And I know you mentioned too those pesky Bradford pears. We also provide different tree planting opportunities as well with this program. And I'll take a break here. Are there any questions?
You're going to have to unmute yourself if you want to talk, or you can put a question in the chat.
What's a good place to get a bat house? Because we've been looking at getting them for a while, and I've not been able to really. I live in Bowling Green. Just wondering, what's your recommendation on finding a bat house?
If you're struggling finding one online, your best bet might be to construct one. And if you go to our website, all of that information will be at the end. I have some publications there with guidance on how to construct your own. So if you're not finding one that suits your needs, I would consider that route and have it exactly how you want it and try that. But
our neighbors behind us have a blue hole, so we see especially in the spring and the summer, we see quite a few bats at dusk. So we've been kind of wanting to do that for a while, and I was just wondering. So
yeah, definitely take a look at those instructions on constructing one, because you might find that it's easier than you think it will be. I would look into it at least and see if it might be something you're interested in and make it into a project. Any other questions? All right.
Well, I guess I had a question. I've done several of these projects already, but I want to add more native plants, but I don't necessarily want to make a whole new bed. So I'm at the point, I'm removing daylilies, I'm removing a spirea shrub. So it's like little areas around the yard. Would that qualify if I took out non-natives and then planted native plants?
It would. And Penny, correct me if I'm wrong, but what we would do in that situation is reimburse you for the plants that you've purchased and do it that way. And any supplies that you might need if you are trying to think of doing a raised bed garden direction with that, we could assist with that too. But yeah, we would also do it on just the plants.
Okay, so it can be like within several beds.
Absolutely.
Already. Yeah.
Yes, if you are extending an already existing, that's even better. So if you've already got something going on there, we would be happy to help you out with that.
And it doesn't have to be from seed. It can also be plants.
Yes, it sure can.
Okay, because I've already done the pollinator patch that I got the seeds from you guys several years ago. Yeah, so I've already got that going.
That's
and
fantastic.
The rain barrel.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, you can absolutely do that. Now, that isn't an option on the application, but that's okay. When there's a line at the bottom of that too that says if you are interested in something else, you can pencil that in there. So just because it's not there, don't think that you can't do it. Always reach out and ask us for sure. Anything else? All right. So this backyard conservation program is a cost share program. And that means you front the cost 100%, and then you provide us with photos of your completed project and receipts of things that you've purchased. And then we will reimburse you 75% of your expenses up to $200. And I will plug in the reminder here. We do prefer you follow our specification sheets. They are pubs from different universities and organization websites. So we have curated those to legitimate documents and things that you can follow. However, if you find something else that you would prefer to go by, you can send that to us and we would be happy to take a look at it and see if it's a legitimate source that you pulled it from, and it should be okay to use there. And I don't know, Penny, if you have any, Penny's the one that does the reimbursements and figures up those costs. I don't know if you have any commentary on that or not.
I was just gonna just make sure people understood. So it is based on the amount of money you spend. We reimburse 75%. So in order to get the $200, which is the max, you would have to spend around 267. So on a project that's not going to be terribly expensive, $100, you'll be reimbursed 75. But if you spent 400, you wouldn't get reimbursed 75% of 400. So we just try to clarify that so people don't spend too much or mess up and think, oh, I thought I was getting more back. But we do pay up to $200. If you have previously participated in this program, we do, and you may be saying this later, Morgan, sorry if I'm jumping
That's
ahead,
okay. No,
it's an annual program that we start with the fiscal year. And so it'll start again in July. So if you've done something, let's say you participated in November of last year, you would actually be eligible again come July 1 of this year. And so, or if you want to apply for something that you want to do this spring, you're eligible for $200. And then let's say you want to do something again this fall or winter, maybe plant some trees, you could actually apply again within the same calendar year, but it'll be a different program year.
Thank you. That's a nice addition because I did not have that in the presentation. So that's fantastic. And backing up for a second, I saw in the chat someone had questioned about the insect hotels and where you can find those. I'm sure you can find them anywhere online. And referring back to those spec sheets, we have where you can construct your own as well if you choose that direction too. I believe the source that I pulled that from, it might have been Michigan State maybe, but they have about 3 different design options that you can do if you would like to construct your own. And do you have any questions regarding the cost share or any more questions about how that works? And I see here, what are bug hotels used for? So sometimes not just in the winter all the time, but in the winter specifically, it's housing for insects and provides them a habitat to live if you're in an area that might not have brushy areas or flower beds for them to reside in. It's just a nice addition to add some biodiversity to your backyard, your home garden, your lawn, pollinator habitats, etc. So the big question, how do you apply for this program? It's very easy. We want to make this easy and accessible for everybody to do it. You can find an application on our website. At the top, you'll see a button that says Programs and Apps. You click that and it's it's in the top 5 there of possible downloads, and it says Backyard Conservation Program. And underneath that application, you'll see the spec sheets as well if you wanted to browse that to see if there's anything interesting for you to do. And I want to make mention as well, I'm going to get that application updated online, but right now it's saying that the deadline has passed on that application. Disregard that because you have until May 15th to get an application to us. And application directions are on there. You can email it to us. You can even take a photo and text it to me as well. We really want to make it easy and accessible for you. I see Jenny, you have your hand up. Do you have a question, Jenny?
Yeah, I have received seeds from you guys in the past
Yes.
for the Girl
Yes.
Scout pollinator garden. And so I'm assuming this program is replacing that program.
It is. You're exactly right because
Okay.
we did
the
offer. Go ahead.
No, the second part of my question then is, can I apply as an individual for my yard as well as a representative of the Girl Scouts for our garden, or do I have to choose?
Nope, you can apply for both. Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yes, you sure can. And yeah, so we used to offer a specific program for pollinator habitat. We would give you free pollinator seed. And we've morphed all of those separate programs of pollinator, rain barrel, and composting all into this single program just to give some more diversity, because with that program, we would purchase rain barrels and compost bins, and we would all gather in our workshop and put them together as a group. But this gives different opportunities to get different bins or barrels or whatever it might be better suited for your backyard needs, and you have some
Okay.
more leeway to choose what you want there.
Okay, and my compost bin is doing well also.
I'm so glad. You'll need to send us some photos. I really would love to
Looks like
have
a black
those.
compost bin.
Hey, that's good. You wouldn't want it any other way.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. So again, please, if you're interested in anything, definitely apply. We still have money available. I will say it is first come, first serve until funds are depleted. And I will make mention as well that you do have to technically get approved before you can begin your project and spending money. And that's usually pretty quick, but just so you know, you can't apply and give us receipts or anything like that. You do need to be approved first. These programs are for Warren County residents, but if you're not in Warren County, don't be discouraged because several conservation districts offer different programs. And if your district doesn't, reach out to them, talk to them, and ask them if it's something that they would be willing to provide for you. Trina mentioned too that Simpson County. Yeah, if you're a Simpson County resident, Michelle Estes is there, and she is fantastic and would be happy if you applied there.
We've not been well known by our community for many years. I've worked for 20 years within the office here, and not still, I meet a lot of people that don't even know we exist. So what we've tried to do is move away from just being the farmer's friend, or helping farmers with their cattle operations or their crop, but to also reach out and help with local or our more urban people, and to have programs and things to benefit them as well. So every single person that lives within Warren County it is beneficial and can do things to help with the protection and conservation practices. So we really have tried to create more programs and workshops to include everyone. And so as we've been doing that, as we are doing that, we would appreciate any type of feedback on things that maybe we haven't started to do and that would be beneficial, or adding practices to our already existing program. So we're always anxious to hear from other people, especially organizations like you all, the women's, garden club and some other places that we've spoke at. So we definitely encourage you to reach out to us and let us know if there's something else we could be doing to help you all.
Jenny reminded me that she is with Girl Scouts, and we offer sponsorships for different projects for organizations. So I don't know how many of you are involved in other organizations, or even you as a chapter, if you have something going on or an upcoming project, we offer sponsorships, and it can be over or for a multitude of things. So if you're doing a large pollinator habitat, for example, that will be costly, or if you're establishing a large native plant garden, or if you're wanting to install a rain garden somewhere that would be benefited by the community, take a look at our sponsorships because it's there for you. You can also find that information on our website too. And it kind of goes hand in hand with those classroom mini grants that I was telling you about. Those are specifically for teachers. However, the sponsorships are for those other organizations and folks that could benefit from it.
And I think Lost River, because you all were talking about Lost River doing some programs, they received, I don't know if we considered it sponsorship or partnership, but we did sponsor them or partner with them on a pretty good sized project
For their meadow out there.
Yeah.
And two, I don't know who of you are involved with the Master Gardeners, but the pollinator habitat and monarch way station out there, we help sponsor that as well. So there's some opportunities for you with our district. And if there's something that you think that might be covered, but you're not sure, just ask. It never hurts to ask us, because usually if it's related to conservation or environmental conservation at all, it's probably going to be okay for you to do. All right, that comes to the close of my slide presentation, and there is our website there, my email address, phone number. That number is also a cell phone number, so you can text or call anytime. And if you choose to send a photo of your application, you can send it to that phone number there. And our social media handle is Warren Conservation KY for Instagram and Facebook. If you are a social media person, I highly recommend following our Facebook page, because that's where you'll find out about our tree giveaway and any new programs that we hope to offer soon. And are there any more follow-up questions? I would love to chat with you guys too, because we're all the time looking for new programs to offer. And there's no better insight than our own community and like-minded folks. So if you have any suggestions, please let us know, because we take them into consideration and try to make that work. Eileen asked, would the program help pay for the removal of a Bradford pear? That's a good question, because we haven't, that's something that we are working on. Penny and I are a program for Bradford pear eradication in the home lawn. So that might be, would you think that that would be covered under this program, specifically removal of the Bradford pear tree?
I know we had talked about this before because we weren't sure liability on
That's
removing
right.
things like that. And if something were to happen, what to the home or something like that. I know these trees aren't as big as a big oak or something, but we would love to see every Bradford pear, every invasive tree out there gone. But we've talked about setting up a program, but there's just so many that are in the state right-of-ways and the county, right-of-ways. It would definitely have to be a homeowner situation, that if we could come up with some type of program where we would not be held liable for something awful that would happen, for chance. But we would like to have that as something, but we aren't sure what the cost would be. If $200 would even cover a portion of, removing a fairly large or partial, because there's a lot of partial Bradford pears out there. But anyways, that's something we have been discussing and probably will continue to try to figure out a better plan for that.
Yeah, Eileen, don't forget about it. Reach back out to us. And if you have Facebook, definitely go follow that, because that is something that we have seriously been discussing over the past several months, is a logical and logistical way to make this happen, because it is an issue. And something too that we are finding more of is that it also goes back down to education as well, because so many homeowners, they don't know that it's an issue and a problem species to have in their home lawn, because they see it as something that's a quick growing and it flowers the earliest and all of that good stuff. To them, they don't know any different. So it also boils back down to making people aware of that too, and hopefully nurseries will stop selling them to people. And so there's a whole lot to the issue, but hopefully we can come up with something that will help in a small way. And Barb asks, do you usually give away native trees? Yes, we do. We actually, in the spring for our seedling giveaway, we order it from the state nursery. So in years past, we've had, Penny, you would remember better the varieties we've had.
We typically always get white pines, and those are great windbreaks and barrier trees. We also sometimes have the yellow poplar, the Kentucky's state tree. I think one time we even had the heritage tree, the Kentucky coffee tree.
We did, yes.
At the time was in my 4th grade year was our state tree, but now it's our heritage tree. So we've given away a lot. Fortunately, my husband is a forester, so we're always asking him to make sure we're picking trees that do grow well in this area. We try to pick trees that we know are going to be planted in people's yards. So we'll put something that blooms pretty. We usually grab some dogwoods, flowering dogwoods, or maybe some red buds. I know they make a little bit more mess, but they also provide good wildlife habitat too. So we try to pick a variety of trees that will maybe be good for each type of maybe a wildlife habitat, maybe just a beautification in your yard. Maybe you want to just have a windbreak or a barrier. So we try to pick 3 or 4 different kinds, but we usually always pick trees that are either native or grow well in this zone.
Yeah, exactly. And the same for, I mentioned as well, our backyard conservation program will help with a tree planting, and those are only for native trees. I do have, under those spec sheets, I do have a list of the native tree options that you can choose from and see what would be best for your situation. And Trina and Janine, I see your hand up. Do y'all have any comments?
Yeah, I just had one. I had been reading about those insect hotels, and they said the really large ones weren't great because the diseases and stuff could spread. They call them slums. But little ones are okay, but the really huge ones, they were wondering, do you have any guidelines on that?
I only have guidelines on the construction of them, but that's something that I would be happy to look into and add that to our guidelines. So if you are aware of any publications, I'd be glad to add it. If not, I'll look for it and throw that in there.
I'll look for that.
Thanks.
And then they also said if you can leave the stalks of your plants up, then those are easy bug hotels, because
Yes,
that's what
they are. And we have a zinnia and pollinator bed out back, so we always leave those up all winter as some housing, I guess, for overwintering critters. But yeah, that's a really nice option as well.
Comment is for the grant that we had to establish our pollinator garden. As part of the learning objectives that we had to fulfill, we did the animal habitats badge, and our Girl Scouts constructed a bee hotel as part of that. And ours was about 12 by 24 inches and included, the pine cones and things like that, but tubes made out of bamboo that we cut from our property. And so we put them up, and then the following year when the girls came back to check it, I mean, I was checking it in between, but one of them said, "Oh, how's our pollinator bug hotel doing?" And we checked, and you could see where a bunch of the tubes had been filled with clogged, filled up with the mud, and then you could see the hole where the bee emerged. And they were so excited they stayed in our hotel. So they do work.
That's fantastic.
And you can also buy the right diameter tubes on Amazon. I haven't tried that yet. So far, we've just made our own, but that's a lot of work. Anyway, they're kind of cool to watch and do. We made another one last year and hung it up in the fall. So we'll see how that does in the spring. And the question I had is for Penny as to whether her husband, the forester, is available for consultation for our trees out at camp. I don't know if he works privately or works for the state or how that might work out.
Well, I'm sure he would be more than happy to. He does have a private consulting business, but he also has a public job with Warren Electric. But on a day that he's off, I'm sure he'd be happy to come out and talk to you about those.
Okay, so we have some questions. We've got some nice woods too, but we have some questions that I would like to ask somebody who is really knowledgeable in that area,
okay,
rather than just doing research online. Okay, thanks.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all this information. This has been wonderful.
Well, thank you for having us. We are very grateful for the opportunity.